All right. I think I'd plan on doing the inventory and that associated GUI and all the items where we left off. But I think I want to really get the world kind of figured out that this battle's going to take place in. And my current thinking right now is that as for a goal for this series, uh, at least our first goal would be to complete the first, like something that's comparable to the first area of Final Fantasy, the first one on the old Nintendo, right? So you spawn outside of a town. You can go into that town. You can buy items and equipment. You can talk to NPCs to figure out what's going on with the world and maybe get some, pointers to your next destination. And then we would have the one area on the map that you can access outside of the town, and that would be where the first boss would be. So I think if we can get all those things, including items and equipping equipment, I think that would be a really good start. So let's think about the world. So it's going to be a 2D scene. I'm going to add a tile map node. I'm going to make a new tile set over here. I'm going to open that up. Actually, I don't have the art for it yet. I'm going to make a new folder. We're going to call it world. I think it'll be all right. And I downloaded this. It's a NES themed JRPG tile set that is copyright free. We're going to try that out. I don't know if it's what I'll end up using long term, but it kind of fits the bill for right now. And change the cell size. I think it's 16. I actually didn't check. We'll find out here. So I'm going to do an atlas, and we'll do the, just do regular grass. I'm going to have to edit my grid here. I'm going to snap 16 by 16. Hopefully that's what it is here. Let's see. It seems to be the case. Maybe not. I'm trying to zoom in here. There we go. I just had to update my selection. It's interesting that that goes down in there. Am I supposed to grab that one too? I don't know. And am I tripping, or are these all the same? Like, why? What is the point here? Yeah, like, you really just need one of these. This is maybe different. I'm trying to see the pattern here. Well, I think for now we're gonna change that. We're not actually gonna do that. It's going to be a single tile. We'll call it grass. And let's make some grass. So I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of make a circle for now. Well, oval. Oops, I didn't want that tool. Get rid of that, get rid of that. There we go. Just want to clean this up a bit. Just so we get an idea of what it's going to be like. I don't think this one has a water tile. Unless that's water. To me it looks more like ice. So I think what I'm going to do for now is just grab that and call it water. And keep in mind, these are just temporary. We're just trying to get an idea of what this place might be like. do that. We surround it with water. Okay. We are going to need player characters. I might do something like NES JRPG characters. Let's see if anything pops up with that. No, so let's do JRPG characters. I think what I'll do, we could try RPG characters. But I have, and they'll probably pop up on here. But I have a set. I just saw, yeah, these guys. I think I might just use these. And I think there's a full kit. I think for now, let's just use these. They're really simple. So let's take a look at how these are formatted. Yeah, nice. So we get different colors. That'll do. Do I need to remove that background? Probably. So we'll pop that into Paint or ASprite. And we'll modify that a bit. This is really simple. You just do Shift R and you drag that top color to that. We already have mask. And actually, I think I have to copy this, put it into a new. What's the problem here? Is it because that is transparent? Okay. So now we have it in this one that does have a transparency color. Theoretically, I should be able to do Shift R again. Yeah, that's what we want. Although unfortunately we're losing the eyes. And so what I can do now is just press G to get the fill tool and then right click. And so that gets rid of any black that's on the edges, but that's also causing an issue. So let me go back to this one. There's a fix here. We gotta copy and paste this, put it into a new document. Then we want to do Shift R on that lime green. And that looks right. And we can save that. Let's make a new folder for our turn-based RPG. Okay. We'll call this, let's just call it Cares. I think that's what they call it out there. Maybe, let's just call it People. People. So we save it as an ASC by default, and then we export to PNG. So if we go to my game art, we can find a turn-based RPG. There's our project file, and there is our PNG. And you can see it has the background removed now, and now it's usable in our project. Might just take a look at what's going on here. Hey, these might be something we could use. A little rough. A little rough. Let's see this one. That's kind of nice. That does fit with the kind of like very simple aesthetic that I want. What I'm gonna do is download these. Oh, cool! There are multiple ones. Let me close that out. Close that out. It's just my uploads. Check on that. Okay, so what do you think we're gonna make now? Take a second and think while I take a second to grab my coffee. I got a good friend. Well, it might not have been obvious, but what I want to do, now that we have these characters, is I want to make the player. And I specifically want a player so that I can have a sense of scale in relation to how I'm creating this world. So let's do, I guess, characters. We'll give that an art folder. And we can minimize that. We might be going to there. So we can see we have that. We're gonna, let's save this as the world. Let's call it overworld. And save that for now. We'll put that in world, which I might actually change to overworld. No, it's all right. We'll leave it. So characters, I'm gonna make a new scene. We're gonna call it player. And it'll be 2D. I think we can just make kinematic as the root. Change this to player, save it, and there we go. It's right there. So we need a animated sprite. We need collision shape. And I think we'll just do a circle for now. We'll change the size of that soon. I'm gonna zoom in here. Okay, we have that. We need sprite frames. This is very large. We're gonna change this. We're gonna have down. And we go to characters, art, people, and we update the size here. That's gonna automatically set our grid, and I can see, oh man, I forgot about this with these. That's so lame. It's an easy fix, but it's just, so whoever made these, I'll show you, these are upscaled 2 times. Because you can see that like each pixel has, it's doubled on the width and height. Easy fix, we just go to sprite size and we do 50%. We double check, make sure everything looks right. Oddly, there's like an extra color. Was that there before? Let's see. Yeah, that's all right. So let me make sure. Yeah, we're good now. We'll save that, re-export, and we have to redrag that in there. And so now we open that. Did this not update? Let's see. It looks like it did. It just needed, what? I'm gonna try a reload. Because the file should be updated. It's just for some reason that interface did not update properly. Go back to characters, open up player. Get back into our animated sprite. Characters, art, people. This looks right. I can just tell. All right, when in doubt, if something seems like it's like not updating right, if you're getting a weird error, just try a reload. So for now, let's do, oops, what am I doing? So we have down, that's what we're doing here. And then we have, what are our directions? We have up, we have left. And now that I'm thinking about this, I really should automate this. But tell you what, for the tutorial, I'm going to show you this way to do it. And then I'll show you the improved way later where I can just update the index of the character sheet and then it'll automatically update. So I'm going to show you this method real quick. We need a player script. Wondering if I should even bother with these. We might as well. It'll be easy. Left, right. So it only takes a few seconds here. Up. Okay, so default will be down. And frame 1. So what I'm going to do is const idle frame int 1, oops, equals 1. And that's because my idle frame is frame 1 on all of these, right? That's where we're just standing still. We're going to do class name player. Now I imagine we're actually going to change this to like an actor class or an overworld character class where the player would then inherit from. But for now, let's just do the player. So we have idle frame. Let's get a reference to our animated sprite. And we've ready. We want to make sure animated sprite is not playing. It's false. We also want let's do .play. Make sure it's always defaulting to down. And my spelling thing's wrong. Let's see. Okay. So let's drag player into the overworld. We're going to put them around here, I think. And let's update that collision shape while we're at it. And also I'm going to have, well, we're not using a grid-based movement, so we can center the player, that's no problem. Collision shape we're just going to bring in here. I feel like I need to do something like that and then nudge this. How's this going to work? So you can see the sprite is not symmetric. I mean, it's symmetric, but we have a 1 pixel column down the middle. So you can't split 1 pixel in this case. So for now, we're just going to be kind of, the collision's not going to be perfect. We'll worry about that later. Oh, I forgot we're running the battle by default. So for now, I'm going to make the overworld the main scene. So I just right click and then hit set as main scene. And we need to attach a camera to the player. Not down there. Make it drag center as by default and set it to current. So now the camera is centered on the player. Beautiful. We're seeing the water and such. And I think, do I want this? Maybe I do want everything offset. We'll just drag that down. I think that'll look better. Maybe it doesn't matter. All right, so movement is pretty basic. Get 4 direction vector. We don't want diagonal right now. If we want to do a 0 check, I believe, or we can just do move and slide. It's going to be movement times speed times delta. We're going to make speed right now. Say 60 frames a second, something like that. And I think that'll give us movement. I was wrong. Move and slide, movement. What do I have to do? UI up, left, right. Times speed times delta. Print. Is it because this is already factoring delta? You should not multiply it by delta, that's the problem. I believe in Godot 4 you have to, don't quote me on that. But so we just do movement and speed. And so we have a moving character. Here's where we do our 0 check. Actually, Actually, we can do it up here. And so it's going to look like if movement dot is equal box vector 2.0. Let's call idle. So I'll make that function now. Let's see why we want that in a second. So we can do it there and here, anywhere else we might need it. So we idle and then we return. Then down here's where we would apply the movement, but we also need to determine which direction we're going. And I believe I have a function to convert my movement to that, which would be this. I'll show you that in a sec. So it'd be AnimatedSprite.play math.that. So let's see what happens. Beautiful. Okay, so there's a little bit of an issue. I think I know the issue here. On all of these, I have to copy and paste that idle frame. Good. It's pretty close. One thing I like to do if animated sprite if not, we're going to set the animated equals 0. I think that's right. Yeah, that works. Because I want them to start walking immediately. If I don't put that code there, I'll show you what happens. See how there's a delay? Like we're moving, but the feet aren't moving. That's why we throw that code in there. A little tip for you. This looks pretty good. Pretty good. If we want, we can do if input dot is action pressed. I guess for now, just use UI cancel. Run factor. Let's say float equals 2.0. Let me just grab that. If we're holding cancel, else 1.0. And we can multiply speed by that times. And I also have to look at that, which we can use speed scale equals run factor. So that's how fast that's going to animate. Here's our normal. Here's when I hold cancel. You can see the animation is sped up as well as our movement speed. Goes back. Very, very simple. I'm keeping it 4-directional movement, at least for now, because we're doing that kind of retro style. Okay. That's our player. We can turn that off for now. Let's see what else we have on this tile map. Is there anything good for the overworld? So we can get some trees. Well, I'm going to have to figure out how to make that exactly right. No, I don't think that's going to be an atlas. Can that be a single tile? We're gonna make a new tile map. Just call this trees pane, and we're gonna save this tile set as overworld. That's perfect. Okay, so we have overworld. We can give that to this tile map, but this cell size is going to be 64 by 64, which, oh, that doesn't really work, does it? We're just going to make a new tile set for the trees. That way everything is very clear, and we can do a single tile and snap option 64 by 64. Trees. And why is this not updating, right? Size 64 by 64. What? Oh, it's 32 by 32. That's the problem. The problem is I can't math. And so this needs to be redone. There we go. Now to be safe, I think I placed a tree somewhere. Yeah, we're just gonna go like that and delete everything. So we have some trees. Actually, I'm gonna make it like this. All right. Trees. I want to show these trees in the first view. All right, so they're kind of into that. And so we'll put the first town around there. Oops. Want them locked or linked. We'll get grid snap going. Yeah, player will be about there. Cool. First town. Does our tile map have anything for that? I don't know if this is really an overworld tile set. It kind of feels like the town or the the local places, dungeons, town. Let's go and grab that other one. Let's take a look at these. There's probably something good here. All right, so these are like mainly objects here. Is that right? A lot of objects. Let's see what the first one is. This is like exactly what I wanted. That's very much Final Fantasy NES. That's the overworld. This is probably what the towns. Right. Okay, so we're going to change what we just did there. I think honestly we can just get rid of that completely. Yeah, let's just gut them. And yeah. Bye, bye, bye. All right, so we're starting that over. Let's see, so I'll have main. It's just going to be easier and look better. Okay, so first I need to get my art. Then there, okay. What's up with my sizing? Are these really are these 20 by 20? Is that the problem? Let's see if that fixes it. So let me see something. They are 20 by 20. I think that's all right. All the tiles will just be a little bit bigger than our players. Whatever. Let's delete that one. Now, can I make this an auto tile? That's the real question. I think I can. For now, we're going to rock just the middle of the trees. Temporary. So we have castles. It's really a bizarre layout. This must be formatted for something. And I'm guessing the water's animated. That this is what it's showing. 1, 2, 3. Maybe. I don't know. Might need to reorganize this tile set. For now, I'm just going to do an atlas with that. Call it town. Take it back. Do those. And we need grass. Looks like we have marsh and desert. Maybe just call it sand. Again, I don't know how many times I'm saying this, I apologize, but what I'm about to do is just temporary. It's just so we can get a sense of the map. We'll replace it with smoother transitions later. All right, so let's kind of get what we had before, something like this. That's beautiful, wow. And get some trees going like that. Get a town here. Maybe there's some like wetlands here. Why not? And sand. So we do like this. And just fill in that empty area. And water. Gotta get water. For now, we're just using one tile. I think what we can do is do that. Water. And this, we're going to do enable priority. That way it's going to choose a random one. We're just going to do this. All right. That's more of the vibe I wanted. The grass needs work, transitions need work, obviously, but I can run. So when we get in there, we're gonna have a mask on our player. I think I have a mask already made, but I think I have to remake it because it's not for this size of a sprite. So we're gonna go in A sprite real quick. I'm gonna do is grab. Why can't I select? What's going on? Oh yeah. Do a new. Okay. Paste that in, and all I really want is to fill in. So when we're in the woods, we're going to block off that much of the player. Save this as forest character. Get that. That art should go in the characters. I think I'm setting that up right. So I'm going to player, we're going to do light 2D. And I think we just give it that texture. And we can see how it's affecting it, right? If I turn it on and off. That's because it's in the add mode, also known as additive. What we want is mask. Okay, it looks like I had it backwards. Let's see if I can do subtract. That's not really what we want. So we want mask. Yeah. I just have to flip this. So we want the white. Actually, let's remove that, and we'll just make that white. Re-export. Get back in there, and that should see how it updates. So when we're walking in the forest, it'll look like this. Whoa! No, we want that centered still. And call this forest mask. Or yeah, it's fine for now. We might change the name of that later if it's you know, if we're walking through water or something. But until then, it's going to be called forest mask. And so now we need to check what tile we're on in the overworld. But I'll come back to that later, I think. Because I'm not going to worry about that until we're checking tiles to get the enemies. Let's just put that in there. So they're going to have the camera. They also need, they're going to be the listener. That's going to be for our sound effects. The current player. What do they need? They're going to need our danger incrementer, which I am going to pull from, I think this is the newest one. I don't know where exactly it'll be in it, but battle maybe? No. World? Nope. Player? Danger. Okay, we'll put that in characters. We'll give players some danger. Fix that dependency. Anyway. All right, enabled show debug text. Cool. So now you'll see in the overworld, I think it's enabled by default. Okay, we're not seeing that debug text though. What happened? Where'd it go? Did I not give it to the player? There we go. That debug text. I don't know why that needed to be that far out. Let's do top left just to make sure it's always there. Okay, so we have our danger value. It's not incrementing because set limit. Countdown. I think it's just going to be one factor. Danger should always update the text here when we set the limit. All right, cool. You can see if I run, it decrements faster. So that's just going to emit a signal saying limit reached. And that's when a battle will spawn. So you can pause this and copy that if you want, the danger node. There's that side, and then here's the other. All right, and I'll quickly walk through it. It has a base limit that you can change based on how quickly you want a battle to spawn. We set the limit when it's ready, which is always doing approximately limit base, but it's modified by a spread, which I'm going to make into a variable. Times spread times 1 plus. I think that makes sense. I don't know. I don't really care. But basically, we're setting limit to a random number within half of limit base and 1.5 times limit base. And then we update the debug text label. When we count down, we're just checking if we're enabled, and then we decrement limit. We check if we reached our limit, we emit that signal, and we reset the limit. We also update the text down here if it's enabled. Pretty simple. Is there anything else I pulled in? I don't think so. So yeah, I'm pretty wiped. I need to have some fun today. I've been working. So I'm gonna take a break from there. This is a good start. I'll try and finish up the outline of this, and maybe we'll get into the town, the first town, and then we'll jump to inventories and all of that. And of course, spawning the battle. Very fun stuff. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for hanging out, and good luck making your game.